The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian Kenzie on Q101, and we are so stoked to have on the phone with us from Oak Park, Illinois, Thomas Lennon, who played Lieutenant Jim Dangle on Reno 911. And MTV's The State, if you want to go way back to one of his first projects, it's legendary, epic. We'll talk about that in a second because they're coming to Chicago with The State in a reunion live performance. We'll get to that, but let's welcome to the show Thomas Lennon.
Hello, can you go? Death Row. What a Brother Knows. Once again, back is the incredible, uncannibal Rhyme Animal D. Hi, guys.
That could be the whole interview. You can just keep going if you want.
That's amazing.
We're talking with Thomas Lennon. How you doing, man?
I'm doing amazing.
What was the inspiration for the rhyme we got there?
Oh, the Public Enemy? It's just always playing in my head, you guys. Fight the power. It takes a nation of millions to hold those guys back.
Fight the power.
So nice to talk to you. I'm a big fan of this exact station. I'm from Oak Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a long time listener. If people still say that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they say, first time caller, long time listener.
Yeah, I used to say that. Although the fact of the matter is, this is not my first time calling you guys. So I actually call you a lot. I don't know why you don't pick up because I'm calling all the time.
Well, that's our producer's fault, so we'll fire him later. It was on him.
Okay. Stop screening your calls, people.
Yeah.
How are things in Chicago, guys?
It's amazing. And what was it like growing up in Oak Park? Tell us that.
Oak Park is a really good spot to grow up in because getting into the city is super, super easy. 'Cause, like the L is right there, and anytime you want to be like mixing it up and doing weird stuff, you can do that like very easily. And then whenever you need to like flee the scene for a minute, you're like, whoa, this got a little heavy. I'm going to duck back out to Oak Park and make some pottery and listen to NPR. After you've been hanging out with the Undertaker Vice Lords on the west side of the city, which we did do just a little bit, but that was back in the day.
I was gonna ask when you were mixing up and trying to get a little weird, what was your go-to spot?
No one would believe this now, but we used to go to, there was an all ages bar. I'm way older than you guys, I bet. Up sort of by Clark and Lincoln called Medusa's. Have you ever heard of Medusa's?
I am the age range of you, and I remember Medusa's very well.
Oh, Medusa's was the jam. It was like you couldn't get booze or anything, but they were way ahead of the curve of playing like the Smiths and Depeche Mode and The Cure. They just had the rotation of all of the music of that era that was going to like last for a really long time. They were playing it at Medusa's. That was a cool place to meet like scary goth girls and goth boys.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good scene.
Get a good flogging in.
Yeah, go down to Clark Street and get flogged.
Everyone knows.
Yeah. They had a great sign out front too. The Medusa sign was very welcoming to what was going on in there.
Yeah, if you wanted just the saddest kids with weird new haircuts, smoking 1 million cigarettes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really mad
that was the vibe inside Medusa's.
Really mad at Dad because he got him a nice car in the suburbs.
No, I'm not from that part of the suburbs. Yeah. It's fun for me. I believe legally I'm something like the 4th or 5th most famous person ever from Oak Park.
We got to see what the other 4.
They have pretty big swings. You got your Hemingway, your Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, Kathy Griffin, the voice of Homer Simpson, Hemingway, and then me. And I think that's the exact.
You really look out that Kanye's not from Oak Park.
Oh, thank God, no. And by the way, I might be more like 3, depending these days how you count that math.
Yeah, I'm kind of scrolling here. I just found a list, and I think you're a little higher than you think. I think you should be higher.
Oh, you're sweet. You're very kind. It depends on if they put Ludacris on that list or not. If he's not on it, I'm very high.
I don't see Ludacris anywhere.
Perfect. Yeah, we got some big shows. I hope you guys can make it. We have at the Riviera on the 25th, Thanksgiving weekend, 25th, 26th.
Oh, fun.
The comedy group, The State, which is basically, the group that founded Reno 911 and Wet Hot American Summer and Stella and like basically every one of those kinds of shows all came from this one comedy group, which was sort of our like punk band of the early 90s, The State. And we got 2 giant shows on the 25th, 26th.
You have to give us the name of the tour right now because it's my favorite tour name of all time.
Thank you very much. It's called The State, Breaking Hearts, and Dippin' Balls tour. Based, obviously, on our legendary character, Louis, the guy who wants to dip his balls and stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
We just, when we were on MTV, we just really weren't going to be nice about it when they wanted us to have some catchphrases. So we only did stuff that was, like, completely unusably insane. And, of course, 30 years later, now that's what the tour is actually named after, so it's slightly crazy.
I remember watching, all the time and what it did and the influences it had on other people who always reference the state. People, comedians or writers, today even still reference it at that point. That's got to be wild for you to hear, especially when you're out there on tour doing this for, I'm assuming, a new generation of people will be showing up at the show, too, not just the old heads.
Yeah, every once in a while we get some folks who haven't seen the state, but I will say it is a lot of diehards, too. We do get some people dressed up as Porcupine Racetrack and dressed up as Froggy Jamboree and Louise. We had in Denver, there was a whole row of guys dressed up like the bearded men from Space Station 11. So, there's a bit of a Rocky Horror aspect to the show. But, what's fun about this show right now is that it is, old characters from the old state show. All the material is new. So very seldom are we doing just like an old sketch with old characters. So, there's a couple times we play the hits, but usually new sketch with the favorite characters, and it's been going very well. It got a nice write-up on Rolling Stone, and I think the Chicago shows are going to be particularly fun.
Now, I wanted to ask you, because you've been part of a lot of really cool things. Obviously, the States, obviously Reno 911, and I don't think everyone knows this, but you wrote Night at the Museum films, as well as Baywatch, the movie. What project have you kind of been most proud of? Maybe it pushed you like most outside your comfort zone, or what like piece of work are you like, this is me, I'm so excited it's out there?
There's one movie that we made. It's me and the other guy from Reno 911. And yeah, we made a fair amount of stuff, and some of it's good, and some of it's absolutely terrible. The Night at the Museum movies are amazing. I'm not gonna, there's nothing. I don't need to plug those.
No,
yes,
you don't. No.
Right?
I mean, unless you get some kind of residual you're trying to get off a streaming service. But
I do. So let's plug those. Yeah, for sure. Let's also plug those. But we made a movie that almost no one I know has ever seen. We took it to Sundance, and it's a horror movie called Hell Baby. So it's got Keegan-Michael Key, it's got Ricky Lindholm, Rob Hugh, both the guys from Human Giant, Kumail Nanjiani, and Rob Corddry. I think it's the funniest thing we've ever done, and I've almost never met anybody who's ever seen it.
So it's a comedy
Hell Baby,
horror.
you can see it anywhere for like 99 cents.
Oh my God. Yeah. I like it. Would
You're
you put it in the
now
category of dark comedy?
It's just a straight up comedy, really. But it's sort of pretending to be a horror movie, but it's definitely really not a horror movie.
Well, it's the 10-year anniversary of this movie. I mean, maybe you should put that up with the rip. 2013, September 2013 was the release date.
Well, that tracks. I went to Sundance.
I
went to
love it.
Sundance to introduce that movie, and my first night there, I tripped in the room and broke my toe, and then woke up with the flu, and then had to do 10 days of introducing a movie that got the worst reviews of all time.
Jesus.
So it was like a very special kind of purgatory. But the movie, I'm really proud of.
I love it. I want to see it.
Yeah, we're all going to watch it, and we'll do a review. Yeah. Kenzie, get 500 words on it by Monday. That'd be great.
I want it.
Oh, by the way, it's you do not have to do a lot of heavy thinking with this one.
It's not a critical thinker?
It is not going to make you think about anything.
Well, we're talking with Thomas Lennon from the state and that tour, Breaking Hearts and Dippin' Balls tour at the Riv on Saturday, November 25th, and Sunday, November 26th. So get your tickets for it. Tell us about your love of Morrissey.
This one goes back to, I was sitting at my first time I was probably kissing a girl in high school. It was about 1984, and I'm out in River Forest. The girl's name was Jill, and the record that comes on is the first Smiths record, just called The Smiths, and it was Reel Around the Fountain. And I think after I heard that track that exact day, I have subsequently thought about the Smiths every day since that day, which would have been sometime in the fall of 1984.
It relates to the girl, though, or only that was the connection?
No. I think it was just happened to be like, one of those profound moments where something in your life is happening and a song comes on. And so that was a big one. And then subsequently, I'm actually standing in my living room right now next to my Johnny Marr Jaguar, because I'm also in a Smiths cover band in L.A.
Oh my
that's
God.
awesome.
Called the Sweet and Tender Hooligans. So, yeah, I'm a slightly obsessive Smiths guy, I guess, as you could say.
So we have a producer on the show, is Case the producer. He's 24 years old, and he is at the level of you with Morrissey for some reason.
Well,
So, yeah, he never would have been alive during any of the Smiths ever existing.
Exactly.
Not even close.
No, I mean, I'm post-maladjusted. I mean, my era of Morrissey is like, I remember when, like, World Peace is None of Your Business came out. But no, the Smiths are the greatest band.
Wow.
The Smiths are the greatest band of all time. And Thomas
The greatest
Lennon...
band of all time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've helped fuel my fandom because you have that video online with Chris Gethard, who's another great comedian, where Brian and Kenzie, there's a 45-minute YouTube video with two comedians just talking about how they love Morrissey. There's no bit to it. There's no point to it. It's just two guys going, hey, this song's
Anything,
great.
It's kind of angry.
Exactly. And
You can also look up, I think Reno Records at one point asked me just randomly at like some LA party to rank the 5 best Smith songs, and I think I did it very accurately. You can look it up. It's just like Rhino Records, Thomas Lennon ranks the Smiths. But I think it's pretty good. I think it's a pretty good list.
Well, can you give me the list real quick?
I can't because the order's so complicated and subtle, and there's really major reasons for it.
For that list of Morrissey songs, that's exactly what I expected him to say. I cannot give you the list now. I have to go back.
Yeah. It's so complicated and subtle. It's just, it's a whole thing.
Breaking Hearts and Dippin' Balls tour at the Riv, Saturday, November 25th and Sunday, November 26th. Get your tickets, and you've got the state reuniting and, of course, Reno 911. And make sure you watch Night at the Museum because he gets residuals from that.
Love you guys.
All right, see you, bud.
Love you back.
See you in Chicago next week. Bye.
Bye.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.